welcome to another episode of Cooking with Keith, where our channel here is about elevating your recipes while you're camping in your RV, because camping is more than just hot dogs. So we have some guests coming over for dinner tonight, so we're going to be doing 3 recipes for you. The first is a classic French dish, the ratatouille. You might have seen the movie. The second is we're going to do a pork tenderloin in the oven. And the third, for dessert, we're going to have bread pudding with vanilla ice cream. So with that, I'm just going to get started on the ratatouille. The ratatouille has zucchini, yellow squash, eggplant, tomatoes. We have parsley, thyme, and I couldn't find fresh basil, so we're going to use the dry basil, some garlic, and a white onion, and some salt and some pepper. So with that, I'm going to get started on prepping the vegetables for the ratatouille. The idea here is you want to try to get everything roughly around the same size so that they cook evenly. Okay, so we've cut up all of the vegetables for the ratatouille, and we got about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch slices of the zucchini, the eggplant, the yellow zucchini, and tomatoes. I've got half a white onion diced and some olive oil, and we're just going to get that on the hob now. We're going to soften the onions for about 10 minutes. We're going to put in some 3 or 4 cloves of garlic, and then we're going to add, I had diced 5 plum tomatoes for the marinara sauce. So we'll get this all started cooking, and then we'll bring you back and show you how we put it together. Look. Now we have the tomatoes stewing, the marinara. While that's on the hob, I'm going to go ahead and start preparing the pork loin. So what I have here is a pork loin roast that's all trimmed. I'm just going to pat this puppy dry. Roaster pan. Just give my hands a rinse. And we're going to make a little marinade, or not marinade, but a little glaze for this. And it's going to be a tablespoon of mustard. We're going to have 2 tablespoons of honey. I have some salt, some pepper, and about 6 tablespoons of olive oil. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 2 cloves of garlic. mix that together. And we're going to rub this in there with our hand. Rub this all over. And there you have it. And this is going to go in the oven at 375, which is the same temperature that we're going to cook the ratatouille at. Pork ready to go. See how our tomatoes are doing. See it, they're getting nice and soft. And what we're going to do with the tomatoes is I'm going to put them in a small little food chopper, but I don't have a food processor, just to make the marinara. Minutes for that. So while that's in its final minute, what we're going to do with the vegetables here is we're going to take a nice glove of olive oil, some salt, and some pepper. I'll get in there with my clean hands and just do a little bit of a toss and mixing with this. And as we continue to layer it later, continue to mix it a bit. So what I have here in my little mixer or chopper is some thyme, and that's about a teaspoon of fresh thyme. We've got a bunch of parsley, and because I didn't have any fresh basil, I put in about a teaspoon of dry basil. I'm just going to give that a little bit of a chop now. I'll put a little olive oil in there to help. And to that, we're going to start adding stewed tomatoes. I hope we don't make a mess. That little batch first. And you just want to get this a little chunky. And now what I'm going to do is just take the blade out for a minute. We're going to pour the marinara in here, make a layer even. Okay. Put the blade back on. Take the rest of the tomatoes and onions. keep that aside, and that'll go on the plate when we're serving. So we're now just going to set that aside. And what we're going to start doing now is assembling the ratatouille. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one yellow, one green, slice of tomato, and a slice of eggplant, and we're going to create two sort of rows of vegetables nestled in there. It works a little better with a square pan, but you gotta make do with what you have. So once again, yellow, green, tomato, slice of eggplant. Yellow, green, slice of tomato, and a piece of eggplant. Yellow, green, slice of tomato, and slice of eggplant. So now that we've nestled it all together, I'm just going to get a little dusting of a little more salt, a little more pepper. And then we're going to cover that with tin foil. Nice and tight. And it goes in at 375 oven for 20 minutes. And then we'll take the tin foil off and cook it another 10 minutes. Taking the pork loin, covered the dish with tin foil. It's going in the 375 degree oven along with the ratatouille, and this will take about 45 minutes to cook. We'll make sure that we get an internal temperature of at least 145. Back when we're ready to eat. Okay, we're just going to take the top off of this and place it back in the oven for another 20 minutes or so.
That picture. I look just like.
I know.
I look just like her. Him.
Him.
Her.
Him.
Him. Okay. It, like chef.
Cheers.
Take care of it.
Okay, we're going to check on the pork. Just going to check the temperature for doneness. My handy little. And the battery decides to die on it.
I've got an old-fashioned one right
Yeah.
down there. Nope, top drawer.
Top drawer.
Right there.
Oh, it's in the package. Let's just try the old-fashioned one and stick that puppy in there. Do, 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 do. We've got a few more minutes to do on this one. So I'm going to put that back in the oven, uncovered. We're going to have motion pork. Sounds good. Ratatouille. There we go.
Yeah.
What's the verdict?
I'm going to slice it. Okay. So, I had to pull the pork roast out and slice it because it wasn't to the internal temperature that we liked. So we sliced it, put it back in the oven. Now we're going to pull it all out. We're going to put it on the serving dish, and away we go. So first we'll take, there's the pork. Now we've got the ratatouille.
Got it. She's got it.
Now we can turn this all off, John.
Oh, you're gonna get it now.
Yeah, it's really good. Sorry.